starts in like some random year. I don't know what year, but like it was some year. But then like this wee guy, he's played by like Hugh Jackman, and it's like you think he'd be fucking scrawny, but no, he was surprisingly really fucking bulky. And I was like, what? And then sorry, this wee lad who should be scrawny looking but's actually really strong because he was like whipping his little sticks around or something, or like pulling a chair or something. I don't remember. And he was like in prison for like 5 years for stealing a loaf of bread for his family or some shit. And then maybe it was his sister. I don't know. But like the next thing you know, like he was in there for like 19 years because he tried to run away 3 times. And he got like put out on parole or something. But like he's got this little yellow page thing to say he did 19 years and no one like let him eat or drink or sleep, and he like pretty much was homeless because everyone being told dickheads to him for like being in prison. But then he like meets this little bishop guy who played like someone else in like West End or on Broadway or something, and he's like the bishop and he's really nice. He gives him a warm meal and lets him spend the night. But like during the meal, right, he's sitting there like slurping away his soup or whatever, but like the bishop's just trying to pray, and then like the nuns are like, oh my god, what the fuck's he at? And they're just giving him these death glares. And then they like runs away during the middle of the night with all his silver. And like these people, like the police, like they've grabbed him and brought him back, and he's like, this guy had the nerve to say you gave him it. And then the bishop's like, yes I did, but you left in such a hurry this morning, you couldn't have these. And it's just like a pile of candles. And then he like sends him off on his way again. Before he does that, he's like, you just have to believe in God and he will help you. He's saying praying or something. The Lord has to accept him and he has to live a good life and all this. And the next thing you know, he's like on this cliff singing his heart out. Whoosh! He rips up his parole papers or some crap, his little yellow paper, and he chucks in there, and he's like a vigilante. No, not the right word. He's like a wanted man, and it goes to like Fontaine, who I keep saying like Fontaine or something. She's working in a factory or something, and everyone's like, there's this creepy old guy that's always like touching her and like trying to get in bed for her and all. And like all the ladies like, poor Fontaine this, poor Fontaine that. We should help her, but we can't do anything if we don't want to lose our job. And then a fucking Lair comes in for Fontaine, and it's like saying her kid's sick. And then all these people just turn on her, calling her a slut and a slag, and how she needs to get kicked out for all their job safeties, and how they can't be associated with her. And like there were such dickheads. And then like the mayor of the place was like, he came in and she's like, mayor, help me, while they're like chucking her out. But the mayor's ran off because he saw Laver, like Green, Mr. Green, Mr. Laver, Jean Valjean, no. God, what was his name? Javert, Mr. Green. Javert's Mr. Green. It's like, Mr. Green, he's like standing there and he's been looking for like not like the last 10 years or something for Jean Valjean or whatever the fuck his name is. Jean Valjean. Shaun the Sheep. But like the mayor, who's actually Valjean in disguise, in disguise, is like, he sees him like, fuck this shit, I'm gonna have to go deal with this. But like then your man doesn't, like Mr. Green doesn't recognize him. Right, but then like Fontaine's been chucked out, and like this man, he gets stuck under his fucking carriage or some shit, or a lorry or what fell on him. Probably not a lorry, they weren't alive back then. But like yeah, and he's like, you're super strong. I only know one person that could be that strong. His name is Jean Valjean, and I think I'm gonna report you as a wanted criminal. So he goes off and he does that. And this man's like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? I gotta run, but I can't even run. And then it's like Fontaine, and she's like, and she has this locket. There's like a piece of her daughter's hair or something in it. She's like, this is my daughter's. It's worth like 10 frolins or something like that. And he's like, I wouldn't even do that for one or something like that. I don't remember the number. But then like some creepy old lady was like, I'll give you 10 frolins for your hair. And then poor hot Anne Hathaway, she actually shaved her whole head. And then she ended up looking like 11 from Stranger Things. And so it's just sad. She got the money because her daughter was ill. Supposedly, like, housekeepers were told dickheads and, like, abusing her and being really mean bitches and all. And, like, trying to get money off this poor wee soul. And then like she like ripped out her two back teeth got ripped out. Fontaine's two back teeth got ripped out, and they were sold. And then she got the money for her daughter, Cosette. I think it's Cosette. Yeah, Cosette. Right, and then this like tall dickhead man, he like shows up, and he's like tries to rape Fontaine, the poor wee girl, and then like he calls for the police because she like hits him and like scratches his face. He's like, she just assaulted me. This fucking prostitute assaulted me. And, oh my god, the poor wee soul. So I think it was like between this scene and the last. So like after she got her teeth took out, she was like forced into prostitution then to help pay. And it's like this awful fucking man. She had to sleep with him and it was awful. And it's like it was so